don't matter.
All right. Randall's here. Mike's here. Bob's here. We're ready for some last minute betting. We're pumped up, man. Hey, in the bet tracker, guys, if you're not in the sweat station, you just don't know what you're missing. I could show you every day so far this year how much money I've made. It's fantastic. And on top of that, don't forget we got the great Discord, don't we, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice
that link is
clip there, Bob.
Yeah, I know that was a little misstep there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Discord, over 10,000 people in it now. Free plays, sports betting talk, education. I mean, those of you who are like, what's a good play tonight? Go to the Discord, y'all. Go to the Discord. You'll find a play.
So I just want to say something here, and I know that I've said this before. For anybody that's watching, if you book an appointment with me, Mike, or Randall, for goodness sakes, will you show up? Don't just, there are people out there that are signing up daily, and they want to get on a one-on-one during their free trial, and they're not getting to do it because people, and it's from all over the world, are booking appointments and they're not making it there. Now, I hate to be an old man, chewing your butt out, okay? But you listen to me. Listen to OddsJam Grandpa and do what you're supposed to do. All right. Randall is in here because he's on fire, okay, on basketball picks. I forget what your record is with us in the morning, but it's pretty damn good. He went 3-0 for us last night, and he's back on here tonight to get us some more winners, man. Randall, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, you got a lot of pressure on me now, Bob.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, so tonight, I don't even remember what we bet this morning. I think it was Utah State, Auburn, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Utah State, yes. Auburn, somebody wanted Rutgers, but that wasn't you.
No Rutgers for me. It's probably a solid play though. Minnesota's pretty horrible on the road, but the other game that I like just a little bit is Florida tonight. I mean, this is a game that Florida absolutely has to win if they want any hope to be in the tournament. And so I do like Florida plus the 5 tonight against Tennessee. I know, I sent that tweet out and wanted to just talk about a few, kind of things I look for in college basketball. I've been getting a lot of DMs, a lot of tweets, wanting to know plays and things like that. So, I mean, that Florida-Tennessee game, perfect example, of some things that I look for. So if you remember, it was back in, I believe, early December, UConn was on the road at Florida. And that line was actually UConn minus 5.5 as well. And so, one thing you're probably asking, what's the relevance of that? But UConn was 5.5, Tennessee was 5.5. If you
What's
look
the relevance of that?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. So if you look at the Tennessee team now that's playing, and you look at, the UConn team of how they were playing at that time, they're probably, I would say that Tennessee, if both of those two teams played and UConn's kind of prime, Tennessee's probably favored by 2.5 in that game. I would think that's just my own opinion. And so with that said, I mean, I don't understand why Tennessee is only laying 5.5 in this game. I think it should be closer to 7.5. And you're probably wondering, well, if you think it's 7.5, then why aren't you laying it? But it's one of those games where everybody's on Tennessee. Florida, not a lot of love. Florida got blown out at K-State. So I do like Florida in that. And a couple of other things that I like to look at, Virginia Tech, Miami last night, we had Miami minus 3.5. Now, if you look at the box score, if you didn't watch the game, Bob, I know you watched the game because you were texting me and you almost jinxed it. But
no,
if you if you didn't watch the game, you just go and you look at the box score, you see Miami won 92-83. And so it looks like a pretty dominant win.
Right.
As you know, it was far from it.
No.
And so chances are in both of their next two games, Virginia Tech's probably going to be a little bit undervalued. Miami's going to be a little bit overvalued. So you create a little bit, of value there just looking at the box score. And I mean, in saying all of this, I mean, at the end of the day, watching these games kind of unfold is really the best way for me to kind of get a feel for these teams, heading into the tournament and all of that. And so a couple of more examples, just trying to give some real life examples of things you can look for, things I look for when, handicapping college basketball. And UNC Pitt's another one tonight. Revenge is probably my favorite angle in college basketball. If you remember in December, might have been early January, actually, North Carolina played at Pitt. Carolina was a 4.5-point favorite, up 4 at halftime, led most of the second half. They blew the game, though, and Pitt ended up winning that game. And so now you've got Carolina tonight laying 8.5 against Pitt. Now, if you look at, again, box scores, you look at the last game, it looks like Pitt beat Carolina. Pitt plus 8.5, no brainer, right? Like you gotta take it. But you've got UNC revenge. And so the only thing that kept me off UNC in that game was the fact that they have Duke on deck. So that's another kind of thing I look for is who do they play next? Is it a potential look ahead spot? And I don't know. Duke, Carolina, neither team's ranked. Maybe Carolina's not looking ahead, but it's enough to keep me off of it. But a very good revenge spot for Carolina. And then, one last game to kind of look at is SLU and VCU. And what's unique about this game that's coming on Friday is SLU and VCU both just played Davidson. In fact, Davidson played SLU on Friday. They played VCU last night. SLU was a 2.5-point favorite. VCU was 3.5 last night. So logic tells me that when they play at SLU on Friday, I give SLU, probably about a 2.5 point home court advantage, maybe 3. But that game should be a pick 'em. VCU should not be favored. And so regardless of what the line is there, I'm assuming it will be a pick 'em. It might be SLU minus 1, 1.5. There's a lot of value there, in my opinion, on SLU. Because, again, just looking at the box scores, if you watched the SLU game against Davidson, SLU played a much better game than VCU did. Now, again, SLU won by 4. VCU won by 2. You're kind of splitting hairs there, but SLU pretty well dominated that game. I don't want to say from start to finish, but for a bulk of the game. And so watching college basketball, getting a feel, looking at scheduling spots. I mean, anytime a team comes off of a big win, it's almost an auto fade the very next game. If a team knocks off a ranked opponent, you can typically fade in the next game. So just wanted to come on, share some insight on some recent games, some upcoming games. One that I'm going to be looking at here on Saturday, just to jump ahead one more, is Indiana and Purdue. Purdue, number 1 team in the land. They play Penn State tonight. I believe they're an 11.5-point favorite. If you remember Indiana last night, Indiana lost at Maryland as a 3-point underdog. So I will be Bob. I'll be backing up the S10 on Saturday on Indiana at home against Purdue.
Woo! Wow. My next door neighbor will be real happy, man. He's a big Hoosiers fan. Let me ask you a question here. How does the Fordham loss affect SLU?
I think it's great, and I'm glad you brought that up because I actually forgot all about that. That probably will be the reason why SLU, if they open as an underdog on Friday, that will be the reason why, because they had that loss at Fordham. I mean, Vegas, what was SLU? Were they 2.5, 3.5 in that game? Like, it wasn't a huge spread, but when you look at it, SLU lost to Fordham. Fordham is not an A10 powerhouse. They're not a powerhouse by any means. They're definitely not a household name. More people have heard of SLU, VCU, George Mason, UMass. All of these teams that over the years have gathered recognition. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great point. SLU probably, like I said, I'll be shocked if SLU opens as the favorite in that game. Now, they may go off as the favorite, but I'll be surprised if they open as the favorite. And the only reason they won't is because of the kind of recency bias with that loss at Fordham, which is not a bad loss. It was, they were basically a 2.5 point fave. I mean, it's tough to win on the road in college basketball, it's bottom line. So
right. Absolutely. Hey, we got several guys here. Scotty Crowell's here. Bobby V says Randall is an NCAA basketball encyclopedia. It's ridiculous what he remembers. And Adam's here, and so is Jordan. So they're all here. We were hoping to get a bigger crowd, but we're working on this stuff. We got a lot of things in the works, folks. One of the things that we have in the works, Randall, really, really quick here. So I'm going to share my screen because I love that this has happened. Folks, if you haven't looked at the bet tracker yet, you're missing it. But I just want to show you that here. Let me go to last month. We have got this fixed now. You can look at my profit for every single day, and I was profitable 16 days last month, and 15 days I wasn't. January was tough, but I came out of January with a positive profit. So I can't argue with that. And now this is what I got on the line today. And it's the sweat station. Man, if you're not in on this, folks, you are missing the boat. Here are all of my upcoming bets right now. It'll show you that I've got 20 of them right now because I just added some more, trying to get in on the books and get all these done. And you'll be able to watch the progress of these bets. Once again, I got to do this really, really quick. I think this is the best thing going out there right now. Okay, I know there's other things that track bets, nothing like this. So if I want to look at last night, and I can look at what the results were, as I'm watching this game between Ottawa and Montreal, I'm seeing that, Brady Tkachuk had 2 shots on goal, through the first period. And I'm watching this gradually climb up and win. Okay. Unfortunately, there's other ones that lost. And Randall, I can't believe how many I've been losing by the hook. You remember the Miami, Ohio Toledo game, over 159.5. Well, it hit 159. Kevin,
these college lines are extremely sharp. What was it? Monday night, Tuesday night, Texas Longhorns closed 4.5 against Baylor, landed 5. Texas Tech closed -2.5. They opened up as a 1.5 point dog. They closed -2.5. They win by 3 in overtime. They were down 23. I mean, these lines are they are so incredibly sharp.
Right.
I mean, look at that. I mean, 135.5, it lands 138, 130. I mean,
right. Well, I want you to look at this. All of these the butterflies all hit except for the last one, which lost by the hook.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. And the one thing I do want to point out about your bet tracker, if you scroll back up, well, you've shut it off now. But,
okay. No, that's all right. That's all right. I can do it. Go ahead.
I think it's important. I think it's worth noting. I mean, all of your bets, I mean, we're talking 20, 30, maybe
25
$10 bets, and look at the profit. I mean, $500 and $40, I think, for the month of January you had, if you scroll up a little more. I mean, just showing you don't have to be, you don't have to be laying 100, 250, 500 a game to make money with OddsJam. I mean, you look right there, $546. If you were paying for the industry plan, you still profited $346.
Right.
And you had fun doing it. You made money. You got to bet sports, and so can't complain about that. But
right.
I'm
just going to tell you all one thing. Just remember this: when you're betting hockey, you are going to lose by the hook more in that sport than I believe in any sport that you will bet. Because if you take the puck line -1.5 and they win by 1, you lost by the hook. If you took the puck line +1.5 and they lose by 2, you lost by the hook. It happens all the time. And in the shot,
the empty net, pulling the goalie is, you've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, teams up 1 goal, you pull the goalie and team gets an empty netter, wins by 2 goals, and if you have the +1.5, there's your bet right there.
All right. So we got a couple of things for Randall here. Scotty wants to know whether you're playing Longwood.
What's Scott's love with Longwood? Is he? I've talked to Scott afterwards. Is he an alum?
I'm not sure. Scott was a soccer player, guys.
Did he play soccer at Longwood? Maybe.
That I don't know. And then he wants to know: can you explain the Iowa State game the other night? Lost a 23-point lead.
My only explanation for what Iowa State did is if you look at the home road splits for Iowa State. Iowa State's not a good team on the road. And so that's part of it. But Texas Tech is not good either. The only thing I would say, and, maybe accurate, maybe not. Texas Tech was 0-8 in the Big 12. You hadn't won a game. Very easy to be down 23 points and, kind of throw in the towel or, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to come back and this is going to be our first win. I don't know. Like I said, there's something, I've played basketball for years, coached basketball for years. There's something to be said when you're down a big amount or there's the revenge factor. Like those are things that get teams up and get them, get them going.
Right. He played at Gustavus Adolphus in Minnesota.
So you didn't play at Longwood. I gotta know what the love is for Longwood.
Yeah. Scotty, what's your obsession? Okay, we want to know. Jordan says the sweat station is awesome when you're winning.
Bob, I do have a question for you, and then I've got to run. What's the deal with Missouri tonight? How on earth are they laying? How on earth are they laying 11 to LSU?
I don't know. Is the LSU women's coach coaching LSU with her shiny outfits?
I don't know. That line tells me that's Missouri probably named the score. And another interesting one, again, I always look ahead in college basketball, is what Alabama just won by 54, 57 against Vandy. They beat LSU like a drum in Tuscaloosa, I think 40 plus there. If LSU gets smoked tonight at Missouri, what's Bama laying in Baton Rouge on Saturday? What's the number there? Because
27.
Well, I don't know about that. Tennessee was 14.5 last Saturday. So, Bama was 14.5 at home to Tennessee and covered easily. So that's a very intriguing game. This LSU team was definitely all smoke and mirrors. If you remember, this team started.
Yeah, it started hot.
10-1 or something.
Right.
They're not very good. So
before you leave, I got to get this comment in from Scott. I don't even know where Longwood is. Not sure why I'm on.
I did have one bet on Longwood earlier in the year.
Earlier in the year, yeah.
I think
you told me to bet what I wanted to win.
Yes, that was one of those, wasn't it?
Yes,
that was a bet
right.
that you want to win.
Yeah,
You're
that was
right.
a BWT, whatever it is. All right, Randall's got to go. Thank you for being with us.
Awesome. Got some winners tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get them.
Let's get them. Got us some winners tonight.
All right, Mike, we got 2 NHL games tonight. Do you have a parlay?
I do.
Okay.
Last night was, not the route to go. The teams I needed to win won, but they didn't win by the puck line. Carolina had a great comeback, but did not go too well there. Should have just went some heavily juiced money line favorites. But Tonight, that same Carolina team's playing. Bob, I'm fading them tonight. I'm going with Buffalo. I'm sold on the Buffalo Sabres. I think they're good. You're getting good value for them at home tonight. They've won 5 out of their last 7 games, and they've gotten a point in all 7 games. So the ones they lost in overtime, and were able to squeeze in a point. And they've also, believe it or not, Bob, check this out. They've won 4 of their last 5 games against teams with an over 600 winning percentage record. They've beaten. So they're beating top tier teams. Carolina plays last night in overtime against the Kings, get a big win, fade them tonight, go with Buffalo. They are potent offensively. And remember, Bob, the Kings scored 4 goals last night. So I think Buffalo has a lot of success here tonight. And then I got to go with the Bruins. You've got Matthews still out for Toronto. Boston's lost 3 in a row. Here's why they lost. Played 3 games in 4 days. They were tired. They needed a rest. They've got a rest. They don't want to head into this all-star break with a bad taste in their mouth. Losing 4 in a row, as remarkable of a start as they've had, they don't want to go into this all-star break losing 4 in a row. They want to get the job done tonight against a Toronto team that, as I said, is without Austin Matthews. They should get the job done. I've got to roll with the Bruins tonight and the Sabres.
Adam has a very good point. We're going to look at this here real quick too, Mike. Bunting over 2.5 shots on goal because of Matthews being out, and Bunting is going to get power play time. And he's with you, and you know what? I'm with you too. I actually went with the over in this game tonight, over 6.5, because
which one?
I don't think that on the Buffalo Carolina.
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, sure.
I don't think Carolina's defense is going to be that good, and they're going to be tired, and it could be worse tonight. It was a 5-4 game last night, so we're going to look at Bunting and his shots on goal while you do what you do. Mike's going to go to the positive EV page and take over for a bit, and I'm going to find out what the odds are right now.
Yeah, Bob, the first play out here, it does look like there's value on taking Morant under 9.5 assists. It's a dicey play, but again, a lot of books have factored a lot into what they've set these odds at. They are all favoring his under 9.5 assists tonight. Maybe this is a game Ja is more on the scoring side. So, he could have 9 assists and we still win this bet. As long as he doesn't have 10, we're good. I think I'll roll with it. I like the value that we're getting. That one is on DraftKings right now. So if you're logged in, signed into DraftKings, I think this is worth sprinkling a little something on. So,
just real quick, Mike, on this Bunting over 2.5 player shots on goal, plus 136 on FanDuel. The other side is minus 178, 184 even. So,
yeah.
But I think Adam's got a very good point. That might be a play.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. Robert Williams, move quickly. You might be able to snag this minus 115 if you go now. Everywhere favoring this to hit. So that's definitely one that you'll want to be taking a look at. I'm just going to add that in there now and scroll to it. We got Eric Gordon over 15.5 points tonight. That's probably a good play. Getting it at minus 110 when a lot of books are favoring this side to hit. Pretty well almost every book favoring it to hit. I mean, look at what Pinnacle prices is over at tonight. Minus 178. Wow. So that's definitely one that I think I'm going to smash as well. Getting good value on that play. See if there's anything else out here. You can see I've got bets out here. Jeremy Grant under 21.5 tonight. Got that added. So yeah, some decent plays. See if there's anything else out here as I scroll all the way down. Nothing there.
I saw some Sabonis plays. Any PRAs on him?
Yeah, it was a Prize Picks play that you saw.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do now is see if there's enough out here to get us a Prize Picks play.
All right.
Let's look at Nick Claxton under 11.5 rebounds tonight. That is play number 1. Everywhere heavily juicing this. 55% win probability. So Claxton under 11.5 rebounds looks good. The Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds. Let's take a look at this one here real quick. Yeah, I mean, that one's worth taking as well. Heavily juiced on a lot of books. So adding that to the 5 pick looks good. So Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds. Let's look at Trey Jones over 5.5 assists tonight. Let's look at our win probability here. Staying above 54.5 or so. That's pretty good. So we'll go Trey Jones over 5.5 player assists. That gives us 3.
When I get there.
Oh, you're still not there yet, huh?
There he is, 5.5 assists. I got to ask you a question before you go any further. Do you think the move of Sabonis to Sacramento has been good for Sacramento? I do.
Well, De'Aaron Fox has been a big part of it too. But yeah, I mean, that definitely worked out in their favor for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
All right, we got 3.
This play looks good. The Sochan play. We can add that one.
What is it?
Jeremy. So I think Sochan. I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce them.
Okay, we're on assists now. Over 2.5.
Yep. Got good value on it, so we'll roll with it. I think doesn't he play for isn't he on San Antonio, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on San Antonio. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what's that give us?
That gives us 4.
That gives us 4. We need one more play. What about Pasternak under 4.5 player shots on goal tonight?
Okay.
Let's stay away from that one. Stay away from him.
Well, what about? Let me see. Bunting's probably not in here, is he? Yeah, he is.
No,
how about
Sengun play looks good. Under 6.5 player assists. We'll go with that.
Okay, you switched on me. All right. Under 6.5 player assists.
Yep.
Okay, I'll find it here in a bit. There he is. Okay.
All right. That's what we'll roll with.
Got all 5 of them.
Baby. Yeah.
All right. You want me to show it?
I do. I want you to show this bad boy. I will.
Last 2 games, Bunting has 3 shots and 5 shots. Matthews was out for both.
Yeah.
You heard that. That is positive money. So no matter what, let's get on that Bunting play, all right? Let's do it, folks. I think that's a good play. So here we are. We've got Claxton for Brooklyn under 11.5 rebounds. We got Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds for Sacramento. We got Trey Jones for San Antonio over 5.5 assists. We got Sochan over 2.5 assists, and Sengun under 6.5 assists.
Let's do it.
All right. So we've talked. Let's get this Bunting play in the bet tracker right now. I'm hooking it right now.
Yeah, let's roll with it.
Yeah, we got to roll with that one. I think that's a really, really, really good play. And then I wonder about, Mitch Marner and what have you. But I honestly expect Boston to win this game tonight. 2, I wouldn't be surprised if Tavares went over on his goals too. I'm going to go to the Positive EV page here real quick, folks. And I'm going to click in the recommended filters and see what's there and see if we could find anything different, especially with college basketball totals. I'm looking for, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for butterflies, man. Okay. There's a 130. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't bet that. Southern Illinois and Bradley has an over 128, 129 and a half, 128 and a half, 126 and a half. Holy cow, dude. I'm telling you, when you start off that low at minus 115, that's a pretty good number. And yeah, I like that play. If you guys who can actually bet on it want to jump on it, I would do that. All right. So that's about all we got, folks. I just want to let you know, I keep telling you, we have exciting news coming around the corner. We will be adding a new show to this channel, and you'll probably see me and Mike pop up in other places, and you're going to be seeing more people pop up on these channels. So check it out. It's going to be happening soon within the next couple of weeks. Thanks, Bobby V. And thanks, Scotty, and thanks, Adam and Jordan, all for showing up. Great information that Randall gave us. Thanks, Randall. Let's win these bets tonight, all right?
Do it. Let's win some money. Go Sabres. Go Bruins. Let's go.
Go over 6.5 goals.
Fine with me.
See ya.